How's it going, everybody? I am back in Fallout 4, this time at Starlight Drive In, and this is actually going to just be the tour of the settlement. I've been working on this settlement for quite a while now, and I'm just going to walk you guys uh, through each of my builds, just a little quick rundown of each one. Uh, I'm going to start with the outer walls and then kind of just move in from there. So as you can see, I'm moving on from the settlement because of the frame rate. There was a couple more areas I kind of wanted to build in, and I'll explain that whenever I get there. But yeah, you can see that the frames are kind of dropping if you slow down. If I move a little bit quicker, you can't really tell. But whenever I actually slow down, you can really tell that the frames are starting to drop. Especially like right here, I can really tell that the frames are a huge issue. So pretty much you can see it's just a pretty plain junk wall. Um, a couple different things. It's like this tower area over here, and then uh, something I like to do is I like to mix up the junk walls with regular walls, and like these end caps, and then the half walls, fences, stuff like that. Cars, and chain link fences and stuff like that. I think that it looks really good, and it makes it look a lot junkier. Uh, and then you can see I kind of moved the chain link fences on this end of the settlement to kind of block off this side of the building and that side. And you can see that it's all blocked off from these chain link fences and stuff. And on this end, where this hole was, I added a little guard post, which is pretty nice. And you can see up there, I've got a little guard tower up there too. And this is the second half of the junk wall around the settlement. You can see I kind of blended it into the side of the actual theater screen, and it wraps around this area because on the front of the theater screen I've got a huge build. But you can see I did the same thing over here. Pretty scrappy wall, uh, along with some of Aslam's junk wall pack. His junk walls are insane. It's stuff that you're not even capable of building in the game, and they look fantastic. So I'd highly suggest that mod. And over here I've got some more pieces of that mod over to this chain link fence that leads back to the actual gate. So then we're going to talk about the gate. I added a small little checkpoint at the gate, so people actually have to come up and check in at the settlement. And you can see it's got a pretty interesting gate. And right in the front gate, we'll talk about this little building. This is the checkpoint, but we'll go up here to the roof with which mod? Scrap That Settlement, that's what it is. So with Scrap That Settlement, I'm actually able to repair the top of the concession stand building and the projector building. Over here, I actually was able to lift it up off the ground and then place the supports back underneath it. And I just went ahead and placed a ton of plywood pieces, and then also I clipped in some floors. You can see uh, there's a little gap right there. It's because there's a floor that all of these fences connected to, and then I went ahead and added some up here. And while we're here, we'll talk about this little building right here. So, as you can see, this is from Aslam's decoration or junk wall pack. I added some rugs. I just glitched those up on top of that, and settlers will actually stand on those. Um, but this is just a little trade area. I just imagined this is where like traveling vendors will stop and sell their goods, and scavengers from the wasteland will come in and they'll actually uh, sell to the town from these spots. They'll just set up camp pretty much. I did want to build in this area, but I really don't really want to push the frame rate any more than I already have. And then we'll go ahead and go into the next spot, which is this tower. And so you might notice some bushes. So it seems like every single time I log on, these bushes are back, and so I didn't actually go through and delete these. And there's going to be a couple areas I'll point out that have this issue. But the next thing is this little scaffolding tower on the side of this junk wall. And so it's just a small little tower that overlooks this hill because this hill is a huge issue, I'd say, for the settlement being attacked and stuff. That's kind of why I've got it blocked off. These houses don't really, it's not really that open to this side of the settlement, just because this hill is a huge, like, weak point, I would say. So I've got a tower over here defending it, along with the turret over here. But the next thing I'll show you is actually the housing area. So we'll go through the first set of houses I made. So that would be this house right here, just a small little shack for, I think that settler's name is Adeline. Shugul runs a lot of the farms in the town. And then it would be this house right here, just a small little shack. Mainly decorations are what make these shacks that different. And then also you'll notice with a lot of my shacks in this settlement is that they kind of are at these odd angles. And that's something that I thought set these houses out a little bit different than a lot of my previous shacks and buildings and stuff. So what I would do is place a foundation down, place another foundation down, and then fill in the gap with uh, the quarter floors and then plywood pieces. And you can see it kind of makes for a little bit more of an interesting build. And the last one is this one. This is a little bit longer. It goes all the way down. There's actually a second floor too. This stairwell was pretty hard to make. I made these with custom vanilla assets, which for some reason I couldn't find it in my mod list the other day, so I don't actually know if it's still in the uh, mod list or whatever on Bethesda.net. So you guys will have to check that out if it is. And then the last one is this small little shack. Got a little dining area here in the back, a little bed area. It's kind of sectioned off. Dining, or well, kitchen on this end of the settlement, or end of the house. And then only a couple more houses up here. Just a few small shacks. Nothing too crazy. And there is videos on... Oh, well, apparently I'm going to sit down. So, this is actually in its own video. So if you guys were interested in any of these builds, you can see these housing areas kind of broken down and put into their own videos. Then also there's this little water purifier area that I built that I thought was pretty interesting. Little path all the way around this area. Little walkway. And then also over here as well. It goes around this side and you can kind of see a little bit farther into it. And it's lit up and stuff like that with little lights down there. But the next thing I'll show you guys is this next set of houses. So these are really nothing too crazy. This is a pretty boxy house, but I sectioned off a part of it as like an office, and then you can see it's got a little living room area, little bed area, dining room, and a little office here in the back. But that's a one-person house, again, with a one-person house over here. Nothing too fancy, just kind of goes around the corner. Got a little living area, as well as a little living room area. In this set of houses, I also have this house, so sometimes I'll leave the doors open like this and then add planks on the top. It kind of makes good for a door frame. And in this area, I added, you can see this is kind of curved around a corner, and I just added a bed, a little dining area for them, and a couple boxes, a chair. Up here, there's actually some guard towers up here too, but I thought that this was pretty cool. A little porch area on this house. Or well, I guess part of that tower, but I actually have one of my guards assigned to this, I believe, or maybe a farmer, for the planters that I have up here. And then over on top of these, I've got a little guard tower, and then over this bridge on top of this bar, I've got another house that I've not really shown at all, but this is where I have one of my guards uh, living while they guard this tower, and then across this little bridge, this guard right here, this spot that looks out over that area, and then this spot that looks out across the tracks and then down in that area, in case that guard is guarding that side of the settlement. And since we're over this area, we'll go ahead and check out this place. This is just a little general store slash house. And also, there's another house down here. It's kind of a long house. But on this end, we've got a little living area, some storage right around this wall, and then a little bedroom area. And for this house right here, we've got, it's really, really simple. It's pretty much just enough for one person to live in with some storage. And this house, it's got 2 beds back here, a little desk with some books and stuff like that, some storage, a dining place, and then a little living room for them with some comics and desk fans, some wall art, stuff like that. And then the next thing I'll show you guys is actually a bar. So there's a little cooking area out here for this bar, but inside this, I made this for Ron Staples. This is kind of like a Minutemen bar, sort of. That's why it's kind of decorated with all these old-timey paintings and stuff like that, and quite a bit of stuff in here, decorations. And then a little bed area for Ron Staples. But there's actually a second floor up here as well. And like I was saying, there's actually a video for each one of these builds individually. Last thing in this area is this little general store. It's pretty simple. It's kind of like an electronics slash general store. And up here I've got a little house. It's like a little bedroom and a little place to sit and look out over the town center with some storage. And then over here, like I said, electronics, radios, ham radios, speakers, components, stuff like that. And then one of the major parts of the build is actually this right here. So this is kind of like a little shopping mall slash motel slash bar on the top. So in the bottom of it, I've got the power, and then just a little chem area, and then somebody maybe doesn't live too nice here, lives underneath this, just wherever they can find room to stay. And then on the front of this super duper mart sign, I've just got a little guard post. Or actually, no, this isn't a guard post. This is the fast travel outpost. So I spawn in here every single time along with the bell, and then a little chair to wait. And then I got some paint, stuff like that. Just like they've been repainting it or something like that. It was real scrappy. And in this area, as you can see, these junk walls I think look fantastic, especially like this kind of stuff. It's just a lot of pieces put together to look really scrappy, but over here you can see that a lot of these uh, bushes and bramble and stuff have respawned, which is really frustrating. Um, but this is actually just a little marketplace area. I've got a lot of level 4 merchants here. There's a mod that actually allowed me to do that. And then a lot of Aslam's workshop pack in here as well. So a lot of just decorated stuff, and then some vendors. But yeah, I really liked the way this looked. It was mainly decoration and stuff, but I thought it turned out really well. And I did a video on how I built these, and then also each of the videos has their own decorations. So up here I've got a little motel area, light shining down on the front desk where they can check in. And then each of the rooms, they're pretty much the same, pretty uniform throughout. Of course, there are some differences and stuff. There's different decorations on each of the tables, different snacks, different types of things in the rooms, but pretty much pretty uniform overall. And also on this second floor, I've got a clinic. It's like a surgery clinic for Doc Anderson, the level 4 doctor, or well, the level 4 like clinic vendor or whatever, I don't know, health vendor. And then on the top story, I've got the bars. So there's two bars up here. One I just kind of imagine is mainly food, and then the other is actually where they get the drinks and stuff like that. But as you can see, like people actually come up here and like actually get drinks and stuff. And this is from Aslam's decoration pack, and the settlers actually use these things, which is really cool, and it really fits in. Then one of the last things I'll show you is out here I've got a small room for some children that I have in the settlement, and it's got just a bunch of toys, stuff like that, a cat, and then a little rat that I just kind of roleplayed as their pets and stuff that they've managed to make live together and not just the cat kill the mouse. So the last thing I'm going to show you guys really quick is this little sniper perch area. So right here, first thing you'll notice is this is actually different than the tour. I added some boards on the front to kind of make it a little less dangerous. It also gives them a little place to kind of hide behind up here. And then you can see just a little walkway through this little area on the front of the theater screen, and then gives them a good view over the wasteland, and the walkway goes both ways, and you can see that they actually do go up here, which is awesome. So this is actually a really useful area to build if you like. I've never seen anyone actually build up here, and I think it's actually really interesting to use this space for something. And you can see that it's actually used by the settlers, so I think that that's a really cool spot to use. I was gonna build up on top of this, but I just went ahead and thought that that was a little bit more interesting. I've always been able to jump there, but I've never actually built in that spot. And so, as you can see, this settlement is massive. I've been working on it for a while now, like I said. I mean, probably a little over a month, and I'm super pleased with how it's turned out. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know where you guys would want me to build, or things that you'd like to see me build. I am going to be moving on to coastal cottage next, but I'd still like to know where you guys would like me to build in the future. Just give me some ideas and stuff like that of what you would like to see in those settlements or whatever. Because I mean, anytime that I hear from you guys what you'd like to see or anything like that, it usually helps me a lot actually. So I appreciate all the people who have subbed recently and helped me hit 500 subscribers. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.